Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lara, or Lara Likes Mascara. I have been on a conscious consumerism journey for more than 6 years now. This is my 7th year on my conscious consumerism journey, and so I have learned a thing or two, and I try to put those things into practice every year, and I try to make goals based on what I've learned from the previous year. And this year is no different, particularly because 2024 had some challenges and I didn't exactly succeed at my goals. This year I'm on a makeup low buy, but last year I was on a makeup no buy, and I could not believe how many products I ended up actually bringing into my collection despite being on a makeup no buy. So kind of failed that, but it's okay. We're starting fresh. We have new goals, and I've reframed it as a makeup low buy because of how things went last year. That being said, I am trying not to bring as many products into my collection this year. But today's video is going to be talking all about that. I'm going to be discussing my specific measurable goals, my SMART goals, if you will. I actually don't know if they're SMART goals. I think they're just measurable goals. And then my sort of like more broad overarching goals and things that I am contemplating for 2025, just ideas that I haven't fully fleshed out, but that will affect the way that I'm thinking about makeup and my makeup collection and makeup shopping going forward. So if you're curious about 2024 and whether or not I succeeded at those goals, you can check out my recent video here where I talked about what those goals were and if I succeeded at them. And it's also a little bit of a like chatty get ready with me where I try some new makeup products. It is a bit more rambly though. Today is going to be more tightly scripted. So if you prefer these types of videos, good, you're in luck. But let's just hop right into it. So as I mentioned, I'm going from a no buy to a low buy, at least theoretically. Obviously last year did not shake out that way, but my goal this year is to spend the entire year on a makeup low buy. So I am allowing myself to bring products into my collection, but a curated specific number of products. So I want to bring in no more than 15 products to my makeup collection. And this includes presents, whether it's like birthday presents or whatever, products that friends have decluttered to me, or products that I get at like makeup and clothing swaps. And this includes products that I purchase myself. So all of these different types of products need to be within 15. Just for context, in 2024, I brought in 25 new makeup products. So we want to hit fewer than that number. Definitely fewer. So that is my specific goal. So in terms of like no buy, low buy, I could buy up to 15 makeup products. I'm not going to do that because I don't feel like there are 15 makeup products that I actually want, but also because I know that I am going to get makeup decluttered to me, so I need to leave space for that. So probably like 3 to 5 makeup products is how many I can actually purchase this year. And that aligns with last year because what did I buy last year? I bought a new concealer, I bought a lip liner, and I bought a cream blush. All of those things, like I was able to justify them because I didn't have a nude cream blush. I didn't have a concealer. Like I actually needed to buy a new one to replace my concealer because I only had one. And then the lip liner, I guess it's not as justifiable, but yeah, it is what it is. So I purchased 3 products. This year, I will allow myself to purchase around the same number, like 3 to 5 makeup products. But within that goal, regardless of which products I purchase, I do not want them to be impulse purchases. So I already know in my mind products that I would like to own in future. I would love to own a bronzer stick. So I have like the e.l.f. Halo Glow bronzer thing. I can never remember the names of that. I have that. It's not a bronzer stick. It's like the spongy thing. So I'm probably not going to buy a new cream bronzer or bronzer stick until I finish that one. But that is something that like I would like to own one day. I also would love to have some kind of brow freeze, like one of those little potted products where you dip your spoolie in and then you apply it to your brows. Not in any rush to own that. And I would love to own a brown eyeliner especially a liquid one. I have my eyes on the Fenty Fly Liner, but I'm not going to do that, I don't think, before I finish the current brown eyeliner that I'm working on. So those are just examples of some of the products that those would not be impulse purchases because I already have in mind specific products that I want. But like a Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadow palette or a Rhode blush, I think those would be more impulse purchases because those aren't fulfilling specific gaps in my collection. And I mean, sure, I would love both of those things. Like I would accept them if they were decluttered to me, but I don't feel like I need them or like can justifiably purchase them. So no impulse purchases, that is a goal. That is kind of always a goal, but I just want to reiterate it for this year. Another specific goal is to bring in fewer products than products that I pan or declutter. So again, for context, last year I panned 21 makeup products and I decluttered 14. So I would love if the number of products that I bring in is smaller than either of those numbers. Like if again I declutter 14 makeup products this year, I would love to only bring in 13 new makeup products. That would be great, but I guess overall I would just want the number to be smaller than the collective number of those two put together, which I sure hope that doesn't happen, because if 35 products leave my collection this year as they did last year, then that would mean bringing in fewer than 35 makeup products, which I don't want to bring in that many. So yeah, just bring in fewer items than products that are leaving. Another very specific goal, and one that I've been talking about for years, like I've been saying 2025 is the year that I want to achieve that goal, is to hit 125 makeup products. This is going to be tricky because in 2022 I had 175 makeup products. In 2023 I had 155 makeup products. So I was really thinking that my number in 2024 would go down to like 140 to 130, but I ended the year with 144 makeup products. So it was quite a bit higher than I wanted. So this year I need to get 20 products collectively out of my collection in order to hit that 125 number. Just thinking through these numbers, doing the math, if I'm currently at 145 products and then I add 15 more products in my collection this year, which is the most that I want to add, then I will be at 160 total, which means that I will need to pan and declutter 35 makeup products over the course of the year, which is a lot. I actually do think it is feasible, just because last year I got out 35 makeup products, as I mentioned, 21 and 14, but some of those products were minis. I think 4 of my lip products were minis. No, 5 of my lip products were minis. And so I need to keep that in mind, that I don't currently have any samples or minis. And so I potentially can't account for those 5 makeup products. It is feasible to get 35 makeup products out and then hit that 125 number, but perhaps unlikely. Because again, this means only bringing in 15 new products to my collection, and I way overshot that last year. So this is my overarching goal. This has been my overarching goal for like 4 years now, but I really want this year to be the goal, and I think this is going to be the hardest goal to achieve out of this whole list. The last of my measurable goals is specifically pertaining to lip products. As you may know, this is the area of my collection that is the most out of hand, which is the largest. You might think it is mascaras, and I do have a lot of mascaras, but I actually have far more lip products. And now with lip products, you can like break it down into categories, right? I've got my lip glosses, I've got my lip liners, I've got my lipsticks, like bullet lipsticks, I've got my liquid lipsticks. So there's a lot of different categories, and I think that's how I ended up collecting so many, but it's still out of hand. And I really thought that after 2 years of doing lip product focused project pans, I will link that series here, in 2023 and 2024 both, I focused on lip products exclusively as its own project pan. I would have thought that this number would be more manageable, but I am currently sitting at 42 lip products. 42! And like 42 is a lot, but it's even more when you think about the fact that I panned 13 lip products in 2024 and 9 lip products, I think it was 9, in 2023. What number of products did I have before that? 22. So I had 64 lip products. Now, you know, some of those I brought into my collection, so I probably didn't have 64 at any given time. Maybe I had like 55 or 60. But still, even 42 is a wild number. So this goal, I would specifically like to get down the overall size of my lip product collection, and this is just a goal that is continuing from the past 2 years. And as part of this goal, I am doing another lip product project pan. I'm not going to be updating it as frequently as in the past. I'll probably update it every like 3 or maybe 4 months, but just know that like behind the scenes things are going on, and I am just as dedicated to those lip products as I would in a year where I'm doing those updates every month to month and a half. So my specific measurable number of lip products that I want to get out of my collection is 10. I would love to get more out, and I think I should be able to, because last year I panned 13 and I don't even know how many I decluttered. Let's say I decluttered like 3. So, you know, 16 lip products left my collection. But I know that some of those lip products last year were samples or were minis, so that helped, and I don't have any minis left. So I'm being a bit more conservative, and I'm saying I want to get 10 lip products out of my collection, and then hopefully I'll end the year in the low 30s. I want to say that I want to end the year at 30, but then that means getting 12 lip products out of my collection, and that also means that I can't bring any new lip products into my collection, which is, I mean, I don't want to, but I just think that's unlikely. Like, inevitably, I'm going to end up with at least one more lip product. I'm just being realistic here. I guess that's one of my goals for this next year as well, to be more realistic, because in 2024, I was on a makeup no-buy. A no-buy. Like, come on. That's not realistic. So 2025 is a makeup low-buy. We're being more realistic. We're still striving for those goals, 125 makeup products, but we are being more understanding if we don't quite hit those goals. This is a category that I will say I do not want to add to. This is like the most important category that I don't want to add to, but if 1, 2, or 3 more lip products get added to my collection, I'm expecting that. I'm building that in. So I'm just saying I want to end the year with low 30s number of lip products. And honestly, just to get into the 30s would be amazing. So those were my very specific goals that will be like an easy yes or no tell of if I hit them, because they're basically just like counting numbers. But let's talk about some of my overall thinkings about how I'm going to approach this year and contrasts to last year. So I will say, and I mentioned this in the previous video where I was talking about my 2024 goals and if I hit them, that the inventory I did was a real wake-up call to me in my collection. I did a 2-part series of my inventory. I do this at the end of every year where I count up all of my makeup products and I show them to you and to myself and evaluate like what I have. And the wild thing is that I think I know my makeup collection well, right? Like, I try to reach for all of my products. I have a more curated collection now, and so you would think that I know exactly what I own, but I don't. And the fact that it was during the inventory that I realized how many new products I had, and that I realized that the number of total makeup products in my collection was a lot higher than I anticipated, that just goes to show that I didn't actually know my collection as well as I thought. So it was a real wake-up call to that fact. And it also forced me to declutter products that I ought to have ages ago, like that e.l.f. palette. I did a makeup chores video recently where I like decluttered a bunch of products, and I also depotted things or like threw them out so that I would be able to recycle them. I will link it here. And I like excavated each individual eyeshadow in that e.l.f. palette so that I would then be able to recycle it. And yeah, that I've had that palette for well over a decade, and it should not have stuck around in my collection for that long. And there was a couple other products like that where I was like, why am I still keeping these? If I really want to curate down my collection and have a collection of products that I truly love and that are not expired, I need to get these out. So recognizing that my collection was bigger than I expected incentivized me to get out some of those older products, which should have left years ago. I don't even know how many products I got out total because of that inventory, but I think it was maybe almost 10. I'll see if I can count that up and insert the number here, but like it was a lot. So I'm not proud of how big my collection got, but I'm proud that I did end up like able to get it down. And I'm filming this at the end of January now, and there are 2 products that I said I would be getting out of my collection by the end of January because of that inventory. So those 2 things I still need to get rid of, which is going to be a challenge, but yeah, I'm going to do it. So I want to continue along with that mindset of like get out products that you don't use or love or need anymore. Get out those expired products. I think the biggest challenge in this regard is mascara, because I use mascaras way past their best before date. I've never had an issue, which is why I continue doing it, but like I know theoretically it's a problem. So I would love to get my number of mascaras down. I'm still in the 20s. I would love to be in the 10s, you know, like to hit under 20, but I don't know if that's going to be possible. So that's why I'm not setting that as a goal. I also just want to comment that it is hilarious to me that 2024 was a no-buy year because of how many makeup products I bought in. I don't know. Was I just like being blind to how many products I was bringing in? Like, was I just intentionally like looking the other way and not recognizing that? Oh, that's another thing I don't think I mentioned. I'm going to be counting all of the products that I bring in this year so that I can stick to that number, so that I make sure I'm staying under 15 makeup products, because there's no other way of ensuring that I do that. I don't keep a mental list very effectively, so I need to keep a physical list of all the products I'm bringing in. So yeah, I think it's funny that this is a low buy year and I'm going to be bringing in fewer products than I did in my no buy year. Like clearly something is wrong there. I will say that I think a big part of the reason that I brought in that many products was because of one specific friend. She was actually moving like halfway through last year, and so she ended up decluttering a bunch of stuff to myself and my friends, like both makeup products and clothing. In fact, like some of my favorite clothing items now are things that used to be hers. And I'm like, thank God you decluttered that to me. Like those specific clothing items I feel like I needed, whereas makeup products I did not need. I could have said no to all of those makeup products except for this. I will say this Charlotte Tilbury lipstick, this is like one of my favorites in my collection, and I'm so glad that she decluttered it to me. But that's just one example. Like she decluttered so much makeup to me. I didn't even count. And I didn't even keep all the products that she decluttered to me. I took a bunch of it at first, and then I slowly decluttered the things that I was like, oh, I'm not going to use this, or I don't like this. And I still ended up with probably 10 to 15 of her makeup products that she decluttered to me. So that kind of thing, you can't really plan for. Like, I don't anticipate something like that happening this year. I don't have any friends who are going to be doing big moves where they need to declutter a lot of stuff. And so I think that accounts for a big portion of my 2024 items. And that same situation will not happen this year. I don't actually know, like I can't predict for that, but I think that that will kind of save me in the trying to stick to under 15 new makeup products. You know what I mean? So not that I'm blaming her, but like that was the reason for a significant chunk of new makeup products. So as I mentioned, those are the measurable goals, but I did want to talk a little bit about what I think 2025 is going to look like for me. Yeah, I guess from a makeup perspective, but just kind of like overall, because obviously your overall life impacts everything. Like my life impacts my YouTube channel and my TikTok and my relationship to makeup and to my makeup collection and all that. Like what's going on in my life affects how frequently I am applying makeup and all that stuff. Like just as an example, my January, I mean every year I feel like January is a very quiet month for me and for most people. Like, you know, you're going back to work after the holidays, you're probably working on some New Year's resolutions, whether that's like, I don't know, learning a new language or like trying to work out more or like go to bed earlier, do some big decluttering or organization projects, that kind of thing. Like for me, generally January is a big like apartment month where I like work on implementing changes that I've wanted to do to our apartment. Not relevant at all, but like we have this big like light in the kitchen. It's like one of those strip lights and it's just like a bunch of bulbs hanging down, and I really don't like it, and so I want to change that out for like a, not a chandelier, but like a nicer light. Anyways, unrelated, but these are the kind of things that I generally work on in January, and January tends to be quiet from like a social perspective. So this week, it's the weekend now, but like this past week, I only put on makeup one day because there was only one day where I had evening plans, and the week before, same thing. Like the Friday I had evening plans, but the rest of the week I had like minimal meetings. I wasn't filming at all. So I just like didn't apply makeup all week. So obviously my makeup gets used less, like I can contribute less to the project pan when that kind of thing is happening. And I'm also not doing as much fun makeup and like trying out fun looks. It does mean that I am able to like get stuff done during those weeks when I like have an entire evening free and I can work on what like apartment stuff, or like we're planning our wedding right now, so we can do a lot of wedding stuff. Honestly, that has been the major theme for the past few months probably, but we've really stepped it up into high gear in January. And some people have asked me if it's fun, like if we're enjoying wedding planning, and I'm like, wedding planning is not fun. Like I'm assuming the day itself will be, and like certain aspects are, like when you're trying on dresses, that's fun. But like the research involved in planning a wedding and like the compromises you have to make and all of the like money related decisions and like trying to appease everyone. Yeah, that's not fun. I'm not enjoying that. I guess this ties kind of into like budgeting, because I think when a lot of people make like goals videos, especially in the makeup space, a lot of that you end up talking about like how much money you want to spend on makeup and how much money you want to save. That has never been something that I've talked about because, I don't know, I feel like that's kind of like incidental. I never felt like I was spending too much money on makeup, so that hasn't been like a big thing that I wanted to shift. Actually, Shauna, just yesterday I was watching her goals video for 2025, and she talked a lot more about like overarching life goals, and mine is specifically about makeup, obviously. But I don't know, like, should I talk more about my overall life goals? I feel like it's only because I talk only about makeup. She talks about like all aspects of her life. I feel like I can only talk about my makeup related goals, but most of my goals, like when I start my list of goals for myself in January every year, those are not makeup related. Like some of them are, for example, like I was trying to hit a certain number of subscribers on YouTube, or the fact that I'm trying to hit 125 makeup products, like those are included in my overall goals because I feel like they're significant enough. But the rest of my goals are related to like life things and like career stuff, you know? And that is only partially relevant to my makeup life. And yeah, like I'm not even really making financial goals this year because like, I don't know. I'm planning a wedding. Like I'm spending so much money. I feel like it would just stress me out if I was like trying to save a certain amount of money and then I wasn't able to hit that because of so much money going to the wedding. So yeah, budgeting goals aren't fun for me to talk about, but maybe like life career goals, because I do think that impacts my makeup. I'm going all over the place here, but I am currently a student. I am hopefully in the last year of my PhD. And so as I work towards that, obviously I need to plan about what comes after. And I mean, it's not stressing me out that much, but I expect it will as it like comes closer to when I'm finishing my degree. How do people work full-time jobs and do YouTube? That is something I do not understand. Because as it is right now, I haven't had to film a video during the day in a while, but like there are some weeks where my weekends are busy. I do not have the time for like 3 hours dedicated to getting ready, setting up for planning and filming a video. And so I have to film the video like one weekday morning, which I can do because I am a graduate student and I make my own schedule. But if I had a job and I was like, oh, sorry, like Tuesday mornings I'm not working because I'm filming a video, like You can't do that. So I actually do not understand how people do both YouTube and full-time careers. Maybe it just involves like cutting out some parts of your like social or hobby life. Like I I have more hobbies and social activities than most people? I don't know. Or do people just like accept the fact that some weeks they will have to miss a video because they're not able to do it? You know, like if you're away one weekend, what are you gonna do? How are you gonna film your video? You guys probably don't have the answers to this because you're like, I don't know, I'm not a YouTuber. Like that's, you figure that out. That's your job. But yeah, I have been thinking about that. It's no time soon. Like, you know, it'll probably be next year, like 2026, when I'm trying to find a job and trying to juggle a job in YouTube. But still, I have been thinking about it now. And I also know that I am planning to work a couple of contracts in this upcoming year, and I don't know if I will be able to stick to my YouTube schedule as usual. Anyways, I just wanted to establish that work may impact my YouTube channel in the future, and I don't know how to get around that. Also kind of related to this is TikTok. I thought that TikTok would be like a really good option to sort of lean on that if I wasn't able to get a video up, and also as a way to grow my platform here, because people from TikTok would then come over to YouTube and watch my channel. And for a while that was working really well. I was getting really good views on my TikToks, like tens of thousands on all of them. But lately, both my TikToks and my like YouTube shorts have been doing really badly. Like I was explaining this to my partner and he was like, oh, maybe you're shadow banned. I was like, what? Like it had not even occurred to me, because like what? I'm pretty apolitical on these platforms, you know? Like I'm not an apolitical person, but like I just don't talk about politics generally on YouTube or TikTok unless it like comes up, you know? So I'm like, why would they shadow ban? Like, what have I done? I don't think it's that I'm shadow banned. I just think I'm not doing well. I'm not making the kind of content people like, whatever. Like I still get a good 1,500 views per TikTok, but I used to get like 15,000 views per TikTok. And on YouTube Shorts, I used to get more views than I did for my actual full-length videos. Like I would be getting 4,000 to 6,000 views on each YouTube short, and now I'm getting like 500 views. So I'm like, what is going on? Are fewer people watching YouTube shorts now? I don't know. So I'm thinking that I might just stop making short form content, because like I'm spending a lot of my time on that. I've been putting out 3 TikToks / YouTube shorts per week for months and months, and it's like I'm not seeing any results. Like I'm probably spending as much, if not more time on TikTok than I am on YouTube, my full-length videos, and that isn't getting me anywhere. You know, like my YouTube channel is growing and I'm actually making more money from YouTube. But TikTok, like we don't have the creator fund in Canada. And besides, while I'm filming this is the day before the TikTok ban is in place in the United States. And that is such a huge segment of my audience. And so why am I even apart from that ban, like why am I making those videos if I'm not seeing any results? So yeah, I guess like you guys maybe don't care because you're watching my YouTube video. Like this is what you're here for. This channel predates my TikTok page. But yeah, I'm thinking I might stop making TikToks and short form content, but do let me know what you think about that below. And if you are really attached to those videos of mine, because it's just feeling like a pointless time sink at this point. Yeah. And speaking of money, I did mention this. I have historically not taken on any sponsorships. I am not opposed to them entirely. I think it would have to be like the perfect match for my content and for my politics, which is very challenging, which is obviously why I have not taken on any sponsorships in the past. But I am open to them. I just want it to be the right company. So I don't know, maybe this is the year. I was thinking about setting a goal of like doing my first sponsorship, but then like what if I'm just forcing myself to do a sponsorship because it was a goal and it's not actually the right fit? Like I don't want to feel like I have to just to do it, but I would love to do some kind of sponsorship this year if I feel like it aligns with my ethics. TBD. If I don't, that's probably for the best, but I just want to encourage myself to be open to it, because I guess I am worried that after I finish my PhD, I won't be able to find a job for a while. You know, the job market is tough right now, and I am in the arts. And so, despite having 3 degrees, like, I think I'll be able to find a job eventually, but it might take 6 months or something, you know? Like, that's my partner recently finished his PhD, and it took him 6 months to find a job, and it's not exactly the job he wanted, and he has a PhD in molecular genetics, so it is arguably more useful than my degree. So yeah, I would like to allow myself a sort of 6-month buffer in order to find a job. And so I'm thinking, well, what will I be doing in those 6 months? Like, sure, I can take on short form contracts, but I kind of want to, like, I want to be able to do YouTube during that period of time, just to feel like I have something steady. And the amount that I make on YouTube is not nearly enough. Like, it's not even a part-time job, right? So I want to be able to have that option of supporting myself and sort of like making more content and bumping it up and making more money, and then like make not as much money and going back to how the channel is now, depending on like what my needs are. And so in order to do that, I need to be able to set up sponsorships, because I'm just, yeah, like ad money is just not going to be enough unless I start getting, 100,000 views per video, which that's just not going to happen as a project panner, makeup no buy type person. I suppose there's always an option to make a Patreon page, but I still feel like I do not have enough viewers for that to be a sustainable way of making money for me. So yeah, thank you so much for watching and supporting my videos during this whole period of my life. It's been so rewarding to have this channel, and I've waffled. Sometimes I've been like, oh, I spend so much time on YouTube, like, is this even worth it? Like, why do I do this? But I enjoy it. I enjoy making videos. I enjoy the motivation that it gives me to actually use my entire makeup collection and the challenges that I set myself. And I would not do that if not for this YouTube page, and if not for you guys watching me. So let me know what you think down below. If you think I should just try to avoid sponsorships for ethical reasons, or if you think that that is a viable option for myself. I am open to all opinions, and I do not want to be like a salesperson for companies, which is essentially what you become when you do sponsorships, but I want to be able to make a living. So I think that is it for today. I've already been filming for 40 minutes, but yeah, I just wanted to reiterate, thank you so much for watching my videos. I wanted to talk about a video today, but I just don't think I have it in me. So next time, let me know what your makeup goals are down below if you resonated with any of them, the ones that I talked about today, and I will talk to you next week.